Alright, what's up y'all, it's LakerFan here. As y'all can see by the title of today's video, we're here to show every attribute boosted by every takeover in NBA 2K21 Next Gen. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. If you do, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on them noties, all that good stuff. Let's try to get this one to 4,000 likes in total. I'm not talking first 24 hours like I usually do. I know this one's gonna have some good longevity. People are gonna be searching this up down the line and maybe suggesting it to their friends as the year goes on as they see this. So I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Like I said, let's try this one to 4K likes in total. All right, so listen, we got a lot to talk about in this video. However, I'm not gonna go ahead and just speak at 10,000 miles an hour and try and get all this in like 8 minutes. So understand this can be a longer video. This took probably like 5 to 6 hours in total to bring to you guys. So if you guys could drop a like on this one, I'd really appreciate it. So listen, like I said, lots of information to break down. I want to start by telling everybody that if you watch the videos from 2K21 current gen or 2K20 in general from me when it comes to these takeover breakdowns, this is going to confuse you a lot because it's a lot different than it usually has been in the past. And if you're somebody who hasn't watched this type of video before, whether it be my 2K21 current gen or 2K20 breakdown on the takeovers in general, then listen, this is going to be a whole lot of new information for you to break down. So I'm going to try and do this the best that I can, and I hope y'all appreciate it. So no matter what takeover you have, as long as it's activated, you're getting +5 attributes to every single attribute rating, at the very least. Now, some of them have +8 in particular. So if the takeover applies to the attribute, example, any slash takeover equals +8 to your driving dunk. Now, we'll explain what this does with the dual takeovers on the next slide. I'll just go ahead and explain these to you guys, like I said, piece by piece. But like I said, you're gonna get the +8 to things that are specific to your takeover. So for instance, slashers get +8 to driving dunk, sharpshooters will get +8 to three-pointer. So in about 4 or 5 minutes, I'm gonna show you guys piece by piece, takeover by takeover, which takeovers are getting attribute boosts in which categories. So what I mean by that is I'm gonna go by slasher and show you which attributes are getting boosted by 8 in that category. So example would be driving dunk, driving layup, close shot are all getting +8s as opposed to getting +5s like you would get with every takeover no matter what it is. Now, what I want you guys to also know is it does not matter which takeover you choose between one category, aka glass cleaning dimes versus see the future. These are all glass takeovers. They're all getting boosted in the same attributes. It's only the ability that changes when it comes to that. So this is where things start to get really complicated, all right? I need you guys to stick with me. We're going to stick with the basics of what you already know from what you've seen in this video. So if you have an attribute rating and it applies to your takeover, aka if you have sharp takeover, you're going to get the +8 three-pointer. Now, if your slash takeover is your secondary and you pop the secondary takeover on, aka double takeover, you're going to still have that +8 three-pointer, but you're going to get also +8 driving dunk. Now, if you're somebody who's a pure takeover, like you have 2 slash takeovers, you're gonna get +12 to everything that applies for slashers. Now, keep in mind, you're not only getting driving dunk boost, you're not only getting three-pointer. There is more attribute ratings that will be boosted by every takeover, and again, we're gonna get to that when we finalize breaking down how all this stuff works for you guys. But anyway, keep in mind, if you have a dual takeover, you're gonna get +12 to every one of those attributes, because for whatever reason, when the secondary takeover overlaps with the primary, you're only getting +4 for that secondary instead of like 2 +8s. So typically you would think it would make sense to be getting +16 driving dunk instead, where you would get like, you know, +8s on both of these, and instead you only get half of that when it overlaps with the primary. So for instance, the math on the overlapping takeover, I know this is so complicated for everybody to understand, but because slasher and lock both give speed and acceleration, or whatever you want to talk about, again, there are more to this. There's more attribute ratings to this than just speed, but because they both overlap with speed, you're getting +12 speed when you have both these takeovers applied, but you're only getting the +8 to the driving dunk and the +8 to the steal because they don't overlap in that sense. So a good example of non-overlapping takeovers, if you will, are sharp and lock. You get the +8 speed instead of +12 because sharp does not provide speed, but slasher does, and lock does as well. So that's why when they both combine, you get the +12, and when they don't combine, you get +8. So sharp provides the three-pointer, lock provides the steal, and lock provides the speed. Anyway, that is your comparison between all of these takeover situations. So now that we have all that out the way, let's finally test these takeovers and show what attributes are getting boosted in which categories. So we're gonna go ahead and test all these out. I'm gonna fast forward to the spot that is showcasing which takeover, and we're gonna go ahead and just break them down one by one. We're gonna start with the backcourt first. I'm gonna talk about playmaker, shot creator, sharp, and slash. Then we'll talk about lock, post, rim, and glass. Alright, so we're going to start with sharp because it's the only one activated right now. Now the reason I'm not going to show them all activated at the same time is when playmaker takeover is activated, it's going to apply team attribute boost. So essentially, you'd be seeing 4 higher in these attribute ratings when that is shown. And I'll go ahead and show you guys that as well. We're going to break down everything in this. But anyway, because Sharp is the only takeover activated, these are the accurate ratings you're going to see when you yourself have your takeover activated in game. So unfortunately, for all the people who like the Sharp takeovers, when it comes to the rating boost, the only thing you're going to get is 3-pointer and mid-range. And again, they're +8s. So now I have to break down to you guys how this works. So I just want to explain. You see an attribute like 3-pointer, and to simplify it for you guys, if it ends in an 8, that means it's being boosted by 8. If it ends in a 5, that means it's being boosted by 5. Just keep it that simple for your brain to understand. All right, there's going to be some ratings that I had to change to, like, say 80, because I had to make sure that this guy had Sharp takeover. Because if it weren't 80, then and everything were at 50, then it would just be the exact same takeover for all these players. So just keep that in mind. To simplify it for your brain, anything that ends in an 8 is being boosted by 8. Anything that ends in a 5 is being boosted by 5. So for Sharp takeover, all you're getting is mid-range and 3-pointer, and then you get things like shot IQ and, say, offensive consistency as well, but that's pretty much the case for almost everything. So just keep in mind, the only important attribute ratings that you're having boosted are 3-pointer and mid-range, essentially. That's literally it. And you'll see that is a different take as far as like other takeovers. These other takeovers, some of them are nasty, man. Some of them just give crazy boosts. All right, so now check this out. I have Playmaker Takeover and Sharp activated. Now, real quick, I'm just going to go ahead and show you guys what Sharp is looking like now to show the difference of when that Playmaker Takeover actually activates. So now you're seeing all the attributes that were originally being boosted by 5 are now being boosted by 9. And then everything that was originally being boosted by 8 is now being boosted by 12. So just keep that in mind. Essentially, again, I'm going to ease this on your guys' brains and explain it in a much more simple way. The Playmaker Takeover team attribute boost is what's applying right here, and that's why everything is going 4 higher. Essentially, just keep that in mind. The Playmaker Takeover team attribute boost is essentially raising every rating by 4. So this is not something that you need to know as far as your own particular takeover. Just keep in mind that's part of the Playmaker Takeover boost, and that's why I wanted to clarify that for you guys. And now you're going to see these are the attribute ratings that are being boosted for the playmakers. So you have driving layup is one of them that is being boosted by 8 instead of 5. And then honestly, this is a little bit bleak, but it's actually what you would expect. Now what I will say is you don't get the speed +8. That is something that's actually kind of crazy as far as the playmakers, but you can see you get speed with ball handle, and pass accuracy. You get the passing IQ and stuff like that as well, if that really means anything for anything in game. But like I said, you don't get speed, you don't get excel, you don't get strength vert. Obviously not strength, but anyway, you get my point. All you get is the speed with ball handling, passing and stuff like that, and then you get driving layup as well. You do not, however, get driving dunk. So keep all that in mind. This is the playmaker breakdown right here. So now, as you guys can see, Playmaker Takeover has deactivated, so this is no longer giving that +4 boost, and that's why we have it like that, so I can show you the actual ratings that are being boosted for Shot Creator Takeover without the Playmaker stuff included. So for Shot Creator, again, one last time, I just want to remind you guys, anything that is ending in an 8 is being boosted by 8. Anything that's ending in a 5 is being boosted by 5. So you're getting driving layup and mid-range. You don't get 3-pointer, however, just keep that in mind, but you also do get ball control. However, as opposed to the Playmaker Takeover, this is pretty straightforward, but obviously you don't get the pass accuracy boost and the speed with ball boost that a Playmaker would. But if you're trying to compare and contrast on which takeover you want to choose between your Playmaker and your Shot Creator options, Shot Creator still gives you the ball handle boost, but it doesn't give the passing or the speed with ball. But with that, you do get the mid-range boost on top of that. And keep in mind, the abilities are very important when it comes to this stuff. Probably more important than the attribute rating itself anyway. So just keep all that in mind when trying to decide your takeover. You don't get speed, excel, or vertical or anything like that with Shot Creator Takeover. So it's pretty straightforward. All you get with this is literally just ball handle and mid-range, essentially. That's really the only important ones. Then you get driving layup as well. So now we got the slash take activated again. No Playmaker Takeover activated, so you're not getting the additional +4s that wouldn't be normally showing. So we're going to go to the slash take. And then, like I said, after we're done with the slash take and all these backcourt ones, we're going to go to the front court. So the slasher and the lockdown, those are the two that you're going to see are getting a massive amount of takeover boost when it comes to the +8. So you got driving layup, standing dunk, driving dunk, close shot. And then obviously, like I said, even if you're a slasher takeover, you still get the +5 3-pointer. Again, every takeover gives the +5 attribute rating. And then you have things like draw foul. Obviously, everybody gets shot IQ. You also get ball handling and speed with ball with the slash take. So if you're trying to compare and contrast between the Shot Creator Takeover and the slash takeover, look, I'm gonna put it like this, man. Slasher takeover has always been crazy when it comes to what attributes are getting boosted. So again, offensive consistency is something that you're always getting. Now with the slash takeover, man, look at this stuff right here. You're gonna get +8 on the speed, excel, strength, and vert. Now, this is something that's different for anybody who's watched the video in previous years as opposed to this year. You didn't normally get acceleration when it comes to the slasher takeovers. Normally this is a +5 like everything else, but this year, for whatever reason, they've added acceleration in as something that's getting boosted by +8 when it comes to the slash takeover. So just keep in mind, you're getting literally every physical when you pick the slash takeover. So now getting into the big man related takeovers, we got glass cleaner we're going to detail first. So again, keep in mind the abilities and how important they are. Some of these big man takeovers are really bad when it comes to attributes being boosted, and something like lock is so much more valuable when it comes to that. But keep in mind, again, if you are somebody who wants the glass cleaner takeover related options, or the rim protector, or the post score, or anything like that, obviously they hold a little bit more value to you than the lockdown takeover. But anyway, as far as a glass takeover, and as far as why I misspelled this, listen, I don't know why, but 2K apparently calls it a bad word to put glass, like 2 S's. I don't know why. Look, I'm just doing what I gotta do to bring this to you guys. Anyway, attributes being boosted by 8. You got close shot, and then obviously the glass cleaning related ones with the rebounding and stuff. But just again, keep in mind, you do get the +8 to close shot for whatever that is worth to you. So you get the O board, D board. Now box out rating is not a thing. Obviously it has been in past years, but it's not in this one. But you can see with the glass takeover, you get strength and vertical as well. So nice little takeover option right here when it comes to the attributes being boosted. And I'd like to think the abilities are actually pretty solid as well. So I would call this a pretty good takeover overall, especially in comparison to, like you'll see, I mean, the rim protector takeover is real disappointing. So next up, we're going to show you guys post takeover. Now this one is very interesting if it's anything like it has been in past years, where you still get the interior defense in previous years. Now I'm going to go ahead and just skip to that real quick and see if that's still the case. And as you can see, yes, it is. You do get the +8 interior defense for the post takeover. If that makes any sense to you guys, let me know. I don't think it really makes any sense at all, personally. But anyway, the +8s for this takeover, you're going to get close shot, obviously the post related ones. So you got the post hook, post fade, post control. Again, I told you guys about the interior defense. That is being boosted by 8 as well. Now, I don't believe anything like as far as the physicals is getting boosted besides, and yeah, actually you don't even get strength when it comes to post takeover. So if that makes any sense to you guys, let me know. I don't know. I think they kind of fumbled the bag when it comes to this post takeover. It really doesn't make any sense that you get the interior defense boost, but not the strength. Personally, I think that's super stupid. So next up, we got this rim take right here. Now, like I said, this is all based off last year, my personal opinions already on what I think of this takeover. Now, they might have changed it. Like I said, slash takeover, they changed the acceleration rating, but I'm going to go ahead and just check this out now. So you're getting the +8s toward close shot, obviously everything that relates to the interior defense. So you're going to get the interior D, the block, etc., stuff like that. So right here, again, interior defense is being boosted by 8, block is being boosted by 8. However, if you ever were curious, if you're getting the perimeter D or steal boost on the rim takeover, you're not. And then as far as the rebounding stuff, again, that's not being boosted. Help D IQ, not something you need to worry about. I don't know if defensive consistency is something that relates to the my players or anything like that, but you're also going to see right here, rim takeover does not boost speed, acceleration, strength, or vertical. It's all only +5. So literally the only thing you're getting from this right here. And you don't even get lateral quickness if you thought that was something that was worth having as well. So literally the only thing that's being boosted right here is close shot, interior defense, and block rating. I personally feel like when it comes to the attributes being boosted by these takeovers, that rim take is the worst one of them all. Now, the ability wise, obviously that's up for grabs as far as like how important it is for you. But personally, rim take is definitely the worst when it comes to attributes being boosted. And now for its competitor, we got lock takeover. Now this one last year was absolutely insane. I would expect the exact same thing from this, and we're going to detail that right now. So you don't get anything like I was saying, driving dunk related or anything like that. Really with these defensive takeovers, you don't almost get anything when it comes to the offensive stuff. You don't even get offensive consistency, and I honestly was thinking that every build gets that. So now for the lock. You got perimeter D and steal. Those are the pretty obvious ones. And then you got lateral quickness as well. Again, I don't think help defense IQ or pass perception really means anything. Defensive consistency might. Now, for the physicals, you get everything except for vertical. So in comparison to slasher takeover, slash gets all 4 of these. Lockdown gets speed, acceleration, and strength. So again, to come back to the topic of the dual takeovers, if you will, if you have lock and slasher takeover, as in if you have say extreme clamps and then finishing moves as your takeovers, you're gonna get +12 to your speed, acceleration, and strength, but then only +5 to your vertical. So keep all that in mind. That is the entirety of the takeovers. If you guys enjoyed the video, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on the noties, all that good stuff. Like I said in the intro, let's try this one to 4K likes total as far as the longevity of this video goes. And then on top of that, I got one thing I want to show you guys too. So I'm going to show you what happens when you're cold. So here we go with everybody's favorite takeover, the snowflake takeover. So this is what happens when you're cold, all right? Now, this is actually some really good information to know. So again, if you guys enjoyed the video, feel free to drop a like. Now, you're gonna see everything is being taken down by 7. I ended all these attributes in 0, so just keep in mind this is literally all -7. Mid-range, 3-pointer, doesn't matter what your archetype is or anything like that, or what your takeover is. It's just in general, every attribute is gonna be taken down by 7 when you're cold. Now I gotta say, I had to try really hard to make this happen. I think I had to turn the ball over 6 times just to make this happen. I don't know if I had a little bit of takeover progress already built up, but just keep in mind, it seems as if it's really not that hard, or not that easy, I will say, to even activate being cold, and it's not hard to avoid. So just keep all that in mind. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. If you did, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on them noties, good stuff. And then matter of fact, I'll show you guys one more thing. So I'm just gonna go ahead and test this myself, and I'll let you know how long in-game time it lasted with takeover active. So I'm gonna pause the timer whenever the ball is not inbounded and the shot clock is not winding down. I'm gonna let you guys know how many shot clock seconds is available when it comes to your takeover being activated. Alright, so from the testing, I got 45 seconds of in-game time. This might change based on what court you're on. Might be different for Park, Pro-Am, Rec, whatever it may be. But if you want to just believe my testing, and I'll just let you guys know, it was 45 seconds of shot clock. Now, keep in mind, that doesn't exactly mean just 45 seconds in general. When it comes to 2v2, there's a lot of inbounding, rebounding, stuff like that. And, you know, just... you guys get what I'm saying. Just situations where the shot clock is stopped. Now, I would assume for double takeover, it's just double the amount of time. So you'd have 1.5 minutes with your takeover on. And again, that's just in-game time. Anyway, appreciate all you guys watching the end of the video. If you made it to the very, very end, put take in the comments to show your support to me all the way through. And again, if you guys want to show any support for me putting all this together, I really just appreciate your viewership, sending it to other your friends and stuff like that, and just flat out dropping a like. So anyway, that's all for the video. Hope y'all enjoyed. None of that. Take it easy, man. Peace.